Dead End Hip Hop album review, Felt for You. So this is actually a hip hop group comprised of Slug from Atmosphere, he's half of Atmosphere, and Murs, one-time Slug protege. This album, it comes 11 years after their last album, which was a tribute, or Felt 3, a tribute to Rosie Perez, which came out in 2009. So if you want to go back, I'll give you the title tracks of their first 3 debut projects. The first one is Felt, that came out in 2002, a tribute to Christina Ricci. And then in 2005, they came back with Felt Volume 2, a tribute to Lisa Bonet. And then, like I said, 11 years ago, Felt 3, a tribute to Rosie Perez, back in 2009. So here we are in 2020 with Felt for You. Never heard of this group. I'm pretty sure Myke was all over it. First time introduction.
You familiar with Murs though, right?
Yeah, because we did a Murs project way back in the day.
Yeah. About a Varsity.
Yeah, on the Varsity on the top joint. Was that the time it was cold or was it warm?
It was cold, I believe.
It was cold. Yeah. So I remember that. And this is where I want to start off the review. This project was on. Go ahead, Ken. Where you want to start off, Feefo? The only thing missing off of this thing was Nate Dogg. Like, oh my God, like them first 2 tracks, especially Never Is Enough and Find My Way. The first time I heard that, I was like,
West Coast
where
vibes.
Nate?
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck is the Nate feature on this shit? Because that's the only thing this thing was missing. And not too long ago, y'all probably will get it. Make sure you subscribe to the Dead End Hip Hop podcast. Me and Ken be dropping audio reviews on there. We did an artist called Larry June, Cruise USA. And this reminded me of that in a sense that it gave me that LA vibe. Only Ken, only. Hey, listen to the review because Ken goes in on that motherfucker. But nah, this one has that LA vibe. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is that this gives you that 90s LA vibe. So that's why I was saying, like, the only thing missing from me was Nate Dogg. Like, but this was a very enjoyable listen. However, I don't know how much replay value it has for me though. Because I've listened to this about 4 or 5 times now, and I'm like, man, like, this sounds pretty good in the whip. This sounds good at home, but it brings me too far back to the point where it's just like, okay, well, what are the instances or scenarios where I would actually proactively want to put this on? But it's nowhere near a bad project. Again, I really like the vibe. I like how they bring me back to the 90s style of LA music or Cali music. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm just, like, it was nothing that really, like, smacked me and said, holy shit, like, I gotta stay on this. Mm-hmm. But it was just a good project.
What's up, man?
Oh, am I going second?
I mean,
this is your shit.
I can see why you would say that. This was a surprise project. Put that out there first of all. This is a surprise.
No promo, no tweet, no nothing. Just
nothing.
Here
this
you go.
Shit just dropped.
After 11 years, just fuck it. Here y'all niggas go.
No one was expecting this. Like, I definitely was not expecting a new Felt project.
It's been so long.
It's been so long, and this is the second one that Ant produced entirely. He did Felt 2. Felt 1 was Grouch. Felt 3 was Aesop Rock. So I was actually curious to see what kind of production he was going to give him, and I was not expecting that LA type shit. Even though that's where, you know, Murs is from California, but I wasn't expecting, you know, them to do that for almost the whole project. So I thought that was actually really interesting. Never Is Enough was just great. Find My Way was great. Don't Do Me Like That, but that was my shit. Here's the thing about Felt. Like, I love Atmosphere, obviously. I love Murs, but the thing that was always so dope about Felt was they had great chemistry. And they were extremely playful. Like, it was just almost like a whole album full of just like rap jokes with them just going back and forth.
Yeah, this is not that.
It's not that at all. So that was something that I was a little bit taken aback by, because I was like, well, these guys are older, and Atmosphere's Slug has been pulled away from that for so long, and he's really been on that grown man shit. I was like, well, and Murs has too. So I was like, is that what they're gonna do for this whole shit? And they did, but it didn't bother me. It actually sounded pretty good. And maybe that was why they were kind of over the whole tribute to whoever type of thing. But Don't Do Me Like That was where I was like, all right, I see we're just going to get some grown man shit. Because they're talking about relationships and being fuck ups in relationships, you know. And that has some of my favorite lines on there. Slug says, talking to wifey, why you trying to get hyphy? Go ahead and wipe me off the sole of your Nikes. And Murs was fucking hilarious where he's like, forever and always, motherfucker, I love you, even after all the bullshit you put a thug through. Which, if you know Murs, he's clearly not a thug, so it's just funny. Yeah, Freeze Tag was also my shit. That was a fucking dope. I feel like Murs probably had the verse of the album on that song, Freeze Tag. But I could see, I definitely want to talk about Hologram. Hologram, I thought was really fresh, because when you look at it at first, you're like, oh, wow, that's an interesting lineup. But then you realize, like, nah, they got the whole Felt crew together, because they got Grouch and Aesop rapping on the track, but they're also the ones who produced previous Felt albums. So I thought that was just a really cool idea. But yeah, I think this is a great project, man. I think it's them. They're not being playful like they used to be, but they're just really being fucking grown-ups. You know, these two guys who have been friends for fucking decades, and you're just used to them being goofballs and clowns, and they're just like, nah, we're really just gonna sit down and talk to y'all about some real shit for,
it definitely felt
for 40
like that.
minutes.
And I went back and listened to the other ones, because I'm more like Feefo. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was an actual group, because like I said, it came out in 2002? And the last one was 2009, so I definitely wasn't listening to that back then. So yeah, I went back and listened to the other ones, and yeah, they were a lot more playful. You described it perfectly. That's how I felt about those. But yeah, it did feel different. And it's funny you said, not funny, but yeah, I liked two, and you said it was just, and he produced that one as well. Ant produced that one, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I out of the older ones, I probably like two the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
No, that makes sense, because back then Ant was really in that bag of that type of production. But now it's just like him and Slug have grown together into this more matured area. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this. I can't think of any song on here that I didn't like. I really enjoyed every song. I think the production on this, like the bass that Ant uses on like Never Enough, was just super dope. Trees had that classic Slug and Murs trade off where they're rapping back and forth to each other.
That's one of my favorites.
Gave me that kind of like that De La Soul vibe a little bit.
I liked how Alexander for real was like funky.
That was crazy, funky and smooth. Yeah, man.
And the synths too that they used on this were very 90s. You know what I'm saying? But like not 90s dusty, but not like 2020 either. Like it gave you the vibe of old school, but it didn't feel like
feel
all the way
dated and old, and
it didn't feel
dirty.
dated and old, but it also didn't feel new.
Yeah.
So that's why like I'm so intrigued about this project, because it's like I don't know, like I'm
How did they do
weirded.
that?
How you do that?
It was like some Warren G type shit. For
It
a lot of these
was.
songs, and I think that, I feel like for them to be doing this shit now, they had to give you something a little bit different. You know, I was expecting, after the first song, I was like, okay, I wonder if this is gonna sound like an Atmosphere album, but this is gonna be a bunch of Murs features. But it didn't.
Yeah, I love it, man. And I think West Coast, funky, like that first track hit, I pressed pause. I was like, God damn, what the fuck is this? Because that shit sounded so fucking good, and it was so unexpected. And I came across whatever one they released in 2009 on some blog shit. So that was my introduction to them, and of course went back and listened to the older stuff. But I haven't listened to any Felt stuff in years. It's not something I regularly put on. So I didn't know anything about this at all, but until I saw people talking about it online, so I put it on, and I was like, God damn. And it was a very, very good listen on the first go round. And I think it was this morning actually. And I put it on. I think I played it like 3 or 4 times in a row. It's like 40 minutes long. So it's pretty short. And it was like each time I heard something different from a different song. And it was and that to me is what signals that it's a good album. Like you listen to it and you'll find a different track that you like. And that was one of the things that I noticed. But it has such a vibe to it.
It does.
And it just flowed so well. And their rapping is so spot on. And it just worked. And it's really hard to find descriptors to really talk about it. But I was like, man, this shit is really fucking good. I love like the guy that did the hook for Shepard Albertson on Crimson Skies. Hologram is my shit, man. So yeah. Blimes on Underwater, the way he did that hook, man, and how soulful that shit was. Man, it's the only one, Myke. The only one that I didn't care too much for.
Watch yourself. Which one?
The last one, Borboleta.
What?
Yeah.
That was such a good closer, even though I don't know what the hell Borboleta is.
I don't know either, but it was. I don't know. It felt like it went away from the soundscape of earlier tracks.
Because it was the production was a little bit cleaner and had that kind of guitar, that acoustic guitar kind
it
of
feels
thing
more
to it.
upbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm in the minority. I didn't care for this one that much. Never Enough, Find a Way, and Hologram is pretty much all I enjoyed on this. I did not. I like Ant's production on the tribute to Lisa Bonet's better than this one.
You like what?
Like for the same.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I like Ant's production better. I like Ant's production better on volume 2 on part 2.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like De La Soul. Like remember when we did De La Soul and I was disappointed. Like listening to this, I'm like, God damn. Like because I'm a fan. I'm a fan of these guys.
damn.
I thought a lot of the hooks was corny, especially that last joint, man. It was just corn. That last track.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was.
That
shit.
nigga said take this shit to
What was
Indiana,
on
nigga.
Borboleta?
Freeze tag. I thought that was kind of corny. Like stop, freeze until Obama come back like Jesus. So, like,
I'm gonna do the best to lead us. I got a pocket full of Norman Reedus. Like these zombies gonna try to eat us. You're crazy, bro.
Wasn't it? Did he bring Chucky?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I ain't like that, man. That whole hook, the hooks is
He
what
didn't
fucked
even
it
say
up
it
for
like
me.
that. Why you do that little?
Yeah, man. It was just like I was trying to find something. It was exactly like when we reviewed De La Soul's last album, and I was just like, I can't believe I don't like this. Like, when I was listening to De La Soul, I was like, I cannot believe I don't like this album. And the same thing with this. I'm like, damn, I cannot believe I don't like this. Like, I played it back again. I was just like, God damn, this shit sticks and stone. I'm like, oh God, this shit sounds so corny to me. Right. And I understand that they on their and what I do like about this is the fact that they are rapping from like real life, real grown man perspective. So I do like that part.
So if you
But
like
I think
that
for
part,
Ken,
I feel like you should like it.
Ken, the same way I guess he was with the Nas, it's the Ant's production on this one for me.
You haven't been keeping up with like Atmosphere's solo shit, have you? That's why Ant has not produced like that old Felt 2 style Ant in a very long
I love
time.
that.
He's been more
that's my
on
pocket
this like
right there.
smoother, kind of laid back tip. So if you
okay.
haven't been like kind of keeping up, I can see this being jarring.
Okay.
The beats are still good though. Like even if you didn't hear the transition from one to the other, it was like if the beats are good, the beats are good. The thing is you just don't like the beats, and that and I get that, and that's fine. I just didn't.
Like I said, the first 2 tracks, I was like, damn, this shit West Coast in the mother. Like when I first played it, but yeah.
Wait, now do you not like the beats, period, or do you not like the beats for them rapping?
Really for them rapping. It's
See,
them
and that's what
rapping
I'm
over the
saying.
beats.
I feel like these beats were given. Like, if this wasn't a Felt album, and this production was given to somebody else, would you still be like, I don't like these beats?
Oh yeah, so yeah.
You'd still say you didn't like the beats?
Yeah.
Okay,
Really?
then, yeah, I don't know then.
What about the
that's what I'm
rapping, B?
Rapping was cool. I mean, it was cool.
They don't rap like they used to. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying I can see why B
Yeah.
doesn't like this.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like if you stepped away for a minute and you were expecting them to be rapping the same way they've rapped on Felt 2 and 3, you're gonna be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
They don't rap like that anymore. This is them
And
a
I
lot
get
more
it.
mature.
Yeah, and I get it. I get that.
Now,
part.
granted, it's
Yeah.
been a good decade now that they've been rapping differently, but if you haven't been paying attention to them over the last decade,
Yeah.
I can see you being confused. Like ever since When Life Gives You Lemons came out, there's been a shift, and he's just been him being Ant, him being Slug have just been a lot more mature. And then Murs is over here having kids and
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
married, and they're just not the same dudes.
Yeah.
It just happens, man. Motherfuckers grow up.
Yeah.
And you know the reason I can dig this is because I feel like this sounds mad corny, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel like I've grown up with these dudes, man. Like when they were out here rapping about going to bars and banging out whoever and doing all this crazy shit. I'm out here doing the same shit, like being a dumbass, getting wasted, trying to bring home whatever. And then you realize that shit's a waste of time, and you start being like, I need to grow up and be an adult.
For me, like the production is the reason why I fuck with it. The rapping was okay, but that's why I also said like there wasn't nothing there to like just grab me and keep me in. But the way the production, okay. I'm just saying it wasn't. You laughing?
I'm not laughing. I'm asking.
He said, you laughing?
Favorite tracks. For me, give me Never's Enough, Find My Way, Through the Night, Sticking Stones, and Hologram.
My favorite tracks are Hologram, Never's Enough, Find My Way, Don't Do Me Like That, and Underwater.
Never Enough, Find My Way, and Hologram.
Just fucking respect. Never's Enough, Don't Do Me Like That, Trees, Alexander For Real, and Hologram.
Felt, if you watching, this is my introduction to you, man. Y'all motherfuckers came out way back in 2002, and the last time y'all came out with something was way back in 2009. I ain't hear none of that. So this is a brand new ear, and I don't know if I represent all of the brand new ears that would be listening, but for me, the production's dope, so shout out to Ant. The rapping on here was cool. In terms of anticipating another one, it's probably gonna take y'all 15 years. I'm not gonna put my anticipation level high at all because I don't know when the fuck it's gonna come out. But it was cool. It was a good listen. The way that everybody on here had talked about your previous projects, I'll go listen to that because that's already out, and I don't know when the next one's coming. But I enjoyed it.
Felt, man, yeah, great album, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the production was great. The rapping was definitely on point, and you know, in terms of the chemistry that you guys displayed throughout the album, it was definitely prevalent, and it conveyed itself in the music. So yeah, it was good to get a new album from you guys because, you know, I mean, you know, I'd never expected that you guys would actually put out another one. So this was a welcome surprise, and people were asking for it. So I'm glad we got a chance to actually cover this album on here as well.
Phil, Murs, Slug, Ant, if you're watching, this is definitely a disappointment for me. I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I'm gonna still go back and listen to your previous albums, Felt 2 and Felt 3, because those 3 is my favorite one. But yeah, this one it didn't sit with me well. Like I said, if it's from the production, I love the fact that you guys, like I said before, I love the fact that you guys are rhyming from real men's perspective and real regular people's perspective, man. It's like, I think that's dope. I think that's needed more in hip hop. You know, people always talking about other bullshit, but you guys touch on some real topics. I feel a little bad, giving y'all a negative review, but it is what it is. I gotta be honest. So, but looking forward to whatever you guys do solo wise, Murs and Atmosphere, Slug and Ant. So keep up the work, keep up the good work.
All right, Slug, you already know this is great. I love this grown man rap that you've been doing, and Ant, I think your production here is fucking stellar, as always. But I think this is actually, hopefully nobody gets upset, but I think this is some of the better production. I think this production is better than some of the shit that was on the last couple of Atmosphere albums. I think this production is great. Murs, man, you came through with some bars, man. Like, I love the fact that Murs and Slug's chemistry is still so together. Like, when y'all were goofy back in the day, y'all were equally goofy. And now that y'all are both growing up, I feel like y'all both have that grown man mentality. You can still make people laugh, but at the same time, you're really making people think about real life type shit. So, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna do another one or not. And at this point, I don't think it really matters that much. I actually think this might be a good closer. You gave us the 3 of y'all just kind of goofing off and rapping your asses off, and then this 4, you're dedicating it to us, to the fans. Felt for you. This is it. I think that'd be fine. But either way, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I'm glad you did it. And I look forward to what y'all do next, separately or together. So, great job.